Last week we talked about, that is episode 5, we talked about multiplication and division of letters. But today, like I told you, and as you can see, the topic on the board, addition and subtraction of expression. Do not forget that I made mention of what we call letters in mathematics, and I made you to understand that whenever you see a letter standing alone, that the letter is not standing alone, but it has one y raised to the power 1, or it is a, there is a 1 before the a, and there is a 1 on top of it. That is the number, the way number is. That is the way number is. But today we want to talk about term and expression. Term and expression. So if you are talking about expression, what do I mean by expression? Before you want to talk about expression, you have to talk about term. Any number standing alone is a term. 2 standing alone is a term. This standing alone is a term. So if I say y plus a plus 3, this one is, okay, let me say plus 4. 1, 2, 3. That is 3 terms. 3 terms. 3 terms. And these 3 terms will now make what we call, this one now make what we call expression. It will make what we call expression. That's what we call expression. And by the time you have y alone, y is just a term. So take note of this one. And by the time I say y plus a plus 4 equal to 0, this is not an expression, this is not a term, but this is a word, an equation. So if you look at these 3 mentioned things that I've mentioned there, you'll be able to know that this one is a term, this one is a term, is a term. We have 3 terms. Even this one 0 is a term. And this one, everything here, without equal to 0 is an expression. But everything equal to 0 is an equation. So equation carries a term, carries expression, and carries the equation itself. So that is another thing you have to note as a non-mathematics student. However, let's go and do some things. Now we are going to addition and subtraction of this term. By the time they say 2y plus 3y, 2y plus 3y will definitely give you 5y. But what makes it to be 5y is what makes it to be addable is because of the minus, the y here and the y here. Because this y and this y as you see here, they carry the same identity. And by the time they carry the same identity, as a non-mathematics student, you should know there's no issue about that. It carries an identity, and the identity is very clear. Y. They just say 2 plus 3 is 5, just take one out of the y. Or somebody says 10x minus 3x minus 4x. It's just for you to know that this is 10x minus 3x minus 4x. You should know that ordinarily we have this minus 3x here. The first thing you take a look at is the letter that the expression carries, the letter that it carries. What is the letter? X. So you can subtract there. It is subtractable. So it will now be this minus 3x and minus 4x. You owe somebody 3 naira, you owe somebody another 4 naira. That is minus 7x, then 10x. That will now be 10x minus 7x will give you 3x. That is the addition and subtraction of what we call expression. However, you can still go on to take a look at this one that is here. Let's take a look at this. By the time I say 2y plus 2y squared, this is an expression, fine, but you cannot add them together. It is not adding. Why? Because it is, of course, it is y and y. But what will make you know to add the two together is because of the square present here. It will never, you never add it. It will never allow you to add each other. And that is what we call, you using terms that are alike to add each other. So another one of these is where you have this one now, you cannot add it, your answer will just remain like this. For you to add this one now, you have to add something of this nature. 2y squared plus 2y squared. You see that this one, you can add it together. It will now be 2y squared plus 2y squared. 2 plus 2 is 4. Just pick one out of the 2y squared. That is 2y squared. But in the case where you are having 2xy plus 8xy, let me tell you, you might be surprised that you come across something like this in mathematics. as a non-mathematics student, you should be able to know that they are addable. You can add them together. It is addable because of the xy and because of the xy here. So 2 plus 8 is 10. Then take the xy as well. So it will now be 10 xy. But if you have 2 xy plus 8y, you cannot add them because this one is only having y, and there's another x here. You cannot add it. And that is the fact about mathematics. That is the fact about mathematics. So you have to get to know this as a mathematician or as a non-mathematician. Get to know why numbers in mathematics, why we have to add it together. Why we want to add it together? Because by the time you want to add it together, it should give you something of like 7s minus 5s. You should be able to know that the answer should be 2s. But by the time they say 7s minus 5y, you should be able to tell them that it's not doable. Why? Because the letters are not the same. However, take note of this, that by the time you want to add and subtract expression, note one thing, that the letter that the number carries must be the same. That is number one. Then number two, the power they carry must as well be the same. These are what you have to note, and that is how you are going to see it all over today. But you are going to see that we don't talk about division now. Division is quite different. That is why I take addition or subtraction of expression. In our next class, which will now be episode 7, we will talk about the division of expression. We talk about that. However, do not forget to like the channel. It is Camera 17 TV as displayed on the screen. Then click on the subscribe button. Then click on the bell so that by the time I drop another video, you should be able to like it. Thank you. We'll see you again.